So this video is all about the launch site near Santa Elena called Paraíso del Vuelo. Let's get into it. Here is the dirt road that leads up to the launch site. The entire road is not dirt, just the last maybe half mile or something. It's winding, it's switchbacks, it's there are ruts in it, and there are divots and stuff from getting washed out by the rain, and it's a bit of a bumpy ride. But you can see it there winding up. Here are the costs. Uh, it's about 4,000 pesos, Colombian pesos to $1. So you're talking, a little less than $5 to have a band or permission to fly out of there for the entire day. Plus, you need to get up to the launch site. These are the men's bathrooms there. Pretty nice spot to take a whiz and look out over the valley there. Kind of cool. Next, let's talk about weather. Here you can see that the road has been wet because it was raining, and that means the grass is dewy. So when this happens, people either leave or they try to wait. Here we had some fog roll in, and obviously we're not launching in fog when we can't even see. So we just have to wait. And here we're packing up some of our gliders and waiting. More waiting. Kind of a bummer. And then here we are actually driving back down after driving up because the weather was bad. It was all fogged out and we couldn't launch. This green truck we were going in actually had some of the lug nuts fall off on the wheel, so we had to stop and get that figured out before we could continue down the road. But part of the road is paved and part of the road is dirt. Here is a morning up there. If you're part of a class, you're going to get up there really early in the morning. It's very peaceful and quiet. It's really beautiful. It'd be nice to camp up there. There are these random dogs hanging out there on the launch. Sometimes they get in the way of people launching. I think it's really dangerous and they should be on a leash or something, but I'm not a Colombian and it's not my operation. Sometimes clouds will roll in and we'll have to wait. And right down here, actually, you're going to see, I'll circle it with my mouse, there's like a little blue roof here. And then there's these two buildings. And right behind there, there's this big rectangle. This is the soccer field, right? You could land in there, or this other big open field here that I'm going around with my mouse. This is the LZ. Most people, they land right here in this little strip between these buildings and the soccer field. They land right in here. Okay. So that's the elevation that we're going down to if you're taking a sled ride. Another shot as the clouds are lifting. It's pretty. It's gorgeous. You're literally running off a steep hill. It was cool though. In the morning, we really had the place to ourselves. As we kept on progressing, there's a better view actually there of the soccer field. Here's the restaurant little thing here, and then here's the LZ. It's right in here. But really, you could land anywhere out here. You actually see some cows and stuff in the pasture there, but you can land anywhere right in here. As we progressed in our classes, we would launch later and later in the morning, and then other pilots would show up too to try to catch some of the thermal activity. But here we are in the morning. We got the place to ourselves. So as we again start to launch a little bit later, other pilots show up. They'll either sometimes take sled rides or maybe do a circle or two to catch a little bit of lift, but eventually they will sink out. And then again later in the morning, more people start to show up. Here you can see a bunch of people gathered in one spot near a house thermal. They'll all circle in the same direction. Totally silent. And again, sometimes we all get up there, but then we have to wait because a cloud rolls in, so nobody will launch. So everyone's just sitting there hanging out. Sometimes it'll get really busy and someone will come up to the front of the line and they'll just sit there and wait for a cycle to come through. Meanwhile, other people want to launch, but one person is holding everyone up. There'll be a line like 4 or 5 people deep. It's like, let's just go. Some people are not that concerned. They just want to get up into the air. But you can see someone holding their paraglider there, a bunch of wings stacked up, like we're waiting, right? One time we waited for like 30 to 40 minutes for someone just to like launch. It was just kind of ridiculous. But you can see how busy it gets there. A lot of pilots. We actually set up our gliders over here on this side of the road, and then we attached our wings to our harnesses and everything. And we walked over there, spread out our gliders, and then launched. You can actually see it's the launch is actually really if there's a lot of people there, you only have like a couple steps to get your glider up and then to run off the hill. So it's a bit makes me a bit nervous when I don't have a long runway to take off from, but it's like a couple quick steps and then like you're running down a really steep hill. So I'd prefer to have a lot more room, but that's what you were dealing with. So you can see all the gliders up there. Once conditions are good, people show up. You'll kind of see them in clusters there. And there's a house thermal there. They're all circling up on and going up, up, up. Another house thermal. It really got busy when you were up there. You had to keep your head on a swivel. Beautiful. A fellow classmate. Now when it was our turn, like I said, we'd bring all our stuff over. Sometimes the grass would get muddy. Spread everything out. We were always launching with assistance from our instructor. We also had radio contact with them the entire time. And there was someone down in the LZ talking to us if we needed any help. Helmets, radios. That's our blue wristband for the day. On the other side of that yellow tape, that's where people in wheelchairs were launching. A couple of close-ups a buddy of mine took. Going through the whole checkpoint process. Now this is down at the LZ looking back up toward the launch. Really cool to see all these gliders up in the air. And right here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, I'm circling it with my mouse. This grassy area, that's the launch, right? So you can see everything from down in the LZ. You can watch people taking off. More gliders. And again, that's Colombia Paragliding School right there with Richie. So his school is right there at the LZ. And then this is the parking lot. And then this is the little restaurant right there. And then that's the LZ right across the street. Look at all the gliders up there. I think there must have been over 30 or 40 on this particular day. Just beautiful. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope your trip goes well.